The mindset, all my third basemen who've played short, who are primary third basemen will understand this. When you know that you could throw hard, you kind of know potentially could save me to still get that runner out. If I don't have an arm, that one bad step, that runner is now safe at first. The transfer portal, I do disagree with going to the transfer portal for a 24-year-old versus a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old. Any school that's going to give me a fair shake and a fair opportunity, I'll gladly go to any of those schools.
Good afternoon, y'all, and happy Good Sunday again. To end it off, I got a fellow baseballer, third baseman, midfielder. My fault if I got that wrong, Brody. Out of Bergen Community College, aka BCC. Introduce yourself, JD. Woo, that's
What's
just
going on?
awesome. Go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? JD Rosario here. You guys can find me on Instagram and really every social media platform at JD Rosario 45. You guys might also know me on YouTube at Baseball Perspective because that's the other one. I'm glad to be here on the Mase Sports.
Yeah, finally, we had to reschedule, y'all. So yeah, one of the long waitings. But yeah, my boy, to get it started off, and I read about you, right? Or not. Matter of fact, you know how I started off like this. My physicality, me doing multiple sports, as you heard from my other interviews, I'm 5'11", play multiple sports, around 200, 180. I'm trying to drop it down because I just got back from vacation earlier this month. So, being a fat boy. What's your physicality? Especially you being a fellow third baseman and a midfielder.
Well, I'm actually as a third baseman. They've moved me over now. Now I'm at short and second.
Okay.
But now we're sitting around. I'm trying to get at least next year 190, 195. Maybe even the offseason get 190, 195. Right now we're sitting at the 180, 185 range, and I'm trying to move up from there because I want
How
to.
tall is you?
I'm 5'9".
Okay. Yeah, well that's perfect height, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially for a baseman. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just based off of some of my boys. But continue.
Yeah.
You trying to get back to the 190 and all that? Like, what's up with the
I
weight
want to be.
drop?
I haven't gotten there yet, but that's where I do want to be eventually, like 190, 195.
Okay. Well, why the weight drop out of curiosity? Is it because a whole lot of stamina when you got slip and slide in the fucking bases?
Yeah,
I'm talking shit.
Not I'm just really so last year I came in at 170. This year I'm coming in at 185, 180, 185. And it's really just more for me gaining more power and strength. So that's really why I want to move up to 195.
Okay. Well, like I said, it depends because hey, shout out my young bucks, you know what I'm saying, that play for my university. I go to San Jose State. A lot of them are solid pitchers and outfielders. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm asking. I'm like, what's up with your weight drop and all that? Now, okay, no disrespect. Like now, if you were like an outfielder, like doing all that extra running and shit, me playing like football and basketball, I get the weight drop because it's hella stamina. You got to catch the fucking ball, unless a bro got one hell of a cannon to hit hella home runs. But what and basement I somewhat understand, but as a midfielder, it's a little confusing. So
It's a
emphasize on
lot of
what a
footwork.
midfielder does.
A lot of footwork plays, like a lot of
But I'm
footwork
talking
plays.
about in terms of stamina. That's to break it down. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it made sense for them because, with all due respect, from my understanding, they do a hell of running. You know what I mean? So that's why I said break down in terms of midfielder. Like, what's so concerning with your weight loss in terms if you're doing that?
Well,
Basement, I already know.
the issue with it's not really about like the weight loss. It's that when in college, at least from what I've realized, is a lot of it is
Right.
strength. So you could
Right.
like stamina, you could kind of like build if you do a lot of running. If in the weight room you're doing a lot of explosive stuff, you could build stamina even with being at 190, 195. You just have to do it the right way because we're taught that like stamina is good. Don't get me wrong. If you're pitching, you need stamina. So you're gonna
Right.
pitchers are gonna do a lot of running, a lot more than
Right.
infielders, outfielders. They're gonna
Right.
have the most because pitching, you need to be, I think, 6 or 7 innings that you have to give strong outings and you can't get tired. Sometimes you're
Right.
gonna be like, all right, a pitcher might get tired in the fifth, maybe pushing sixth, which even if the pitcher gets to the fifth, that's still good. So that's why you see them, they do a lot more running. You see them some pitchers are big, some lean out. So it kind of just depends on really the infielder, and you have to also know what your game is. So if your game is typically being a faster runner, getting on base, than stealing, you're probably going to see that player is probably going to be 175, 180, maybe 185. Kind of, it really depends on. Again, another thing that also it depends on is your height, your weight, and what you do. So for me, I'm more like power. So a lot of my thing has to come from how strong I can hit the ball.
Right.
Certain people, it's different. Some are contact, which means that their job is either to get on base and to steal, get on second, or get on third, and then whoever the next hitter is, if it's a power hitter, to bring that runner in. So it kind of depends on like really what that player like. What's his game?
Like how it plays out, like, that goes on to my next question, like how it takes advantage of the versatility, right?
Yeah, and that's that's really what it's about because center field, like I can tell you right now, center field are usually going to be faster. They don't have usually if you're in the outfield, you don't. There is footwork to the outfield, but it's not as much as a short and second baseman. Those two have a lot of footwork. Shortstop has the most footwork, by the way, out of the entire infield. Second doesn't have much of a. It has footwork, but it's not as much as shortstop. Third, you could play third with very little footwork and you'll be fine there. First base, you don't need
Mhm.
really any footwork. I'll be quite honest. So I'm being so serious. First
No, no,
base,
no,
you
no.
really
No,
don't.
I get you, my boy. I'm finna use football analogy in a second, but no, I get it. But honestly, what I take off of that, right? Well, I mean, to my apologies. Were you trying to finish your positions, or you want me to go on to based on my analogy from what you're telling
No,
me?
no, no. You could go on.
So with that analogy, right? So okay, my fault. I'm just basing out of fucking football because basketball
You're
I can
good.
only relate to like PG. So like for football, it's like, you said the what you said this is the fastest again? Like the one that has hella footwork?
Shortstop.
Yeah, so shortstop is equivalent, and like I said, me being 5'11", we have a lot of versatility too. What it depends on your stockiness. Like, running back, if you're hella stocky, running back, you don't got to be hella stocky. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you're just running back. You're not doing much guarding. You do more sort of like short line receiver, which I did as well, and all that stuff. So when I think of those guys, you know what I'm saying, that's the position to get for. And the good thing about being a very versatile athlete, and I bet you have players like this, especially you being the collegiate level, that probably do football on the side. Am I right?
I actually don't play
So
football.
no, 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 no. I'm speaking in general, like for your colleagues that do play that are like multi-sport athletes,
Oh, yes,
especially
yes,
in the
yes. Okay.
collegiate level.
Yes.
No, no, I'm saying if you have homies or colleagues like that are multi-sport athletes, I mean that's the benefit. So when it
Hmm.
comes to that, that's why I asked about versatility and all that and physicality because it goes hand in hand. And the good thing is, just like with any sport, if any of your boys play like football, track, and particularly for baseball, which is very compatible, somewhat basketball, oh that's one hell of a kill. So from what you're explaining is like, in terms of like you said, the fastest. Okay, my apologies. I just shot off for a quick sec. What's the fastest position again for baseball?
Well, it kind of depends. If we're
You said the
saying
fastest
fast,
one. I just forgot.
center field might be the fastest because of the way you have to track balls and because they also have like they have the biggest range probably throughout the entire um
Right.
field because they have to cover the grass. So I'd probably say center field because shortstop. What makes shortstop fast is you need to know like you have to have good footwork because if you take the wrong
Right.
route to the ball, you could be giving the runner 2 or 3 extra steps, and now that runner
Right.
is safe. So I would probably say center field. Yeah.
Yeah. So center field, that's equivalent to what I played for, right? Which is corner and receiver, because that's the same thing we are when it comes to the football. We always care same thing about the carrier, except we're not trying to knock down the dude. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to intercept the ball. The other position you mentioned, that's more like I would say a linebacker's position because you're trying to figure out where the ball goes and you're trying to execute it with the opposing team. If that makes sense, I'm not trying to sound a little confusing. I'm using
Yeah,
football
I get
analogy,
it.
try to compare your position. If that makes sense.
I get it.
Okay. Um, how do you balance both midfield and third base? I know you sort of touched on it, even though we were bouncing out throughout the whole fucking positions. But in particularly for what you played for, how do you balance it with midfield and third and being a third baseman?
It's actually, so I'll be honest, it's not too hard because so the way you balance something like that, if let's say you're a third baseman, you could take reps at shortstop. It's a lot easier to go from short to third than third to short because third base, you could stay a bit flat-footed at third and you'll be fine at third base.
Right.
At short, you don't really have much time to be flat-footed. And if you are, you better have a cannon of an arm because that's really like
I was about to say.
that's really
No,
how
that's
it
true.
is for for short. Like you have to have a cannon for an arm. If you're gonna be flat-footed a bit, you have to have a cannon. I use a perfect example. Carlos Correa, he's on, I believe now the Astros.
Hmm.
He's not like if you watch him play, he's not a player that has crazy footwork. What he has is he has a cannon that saves him a lot of the time.
Right.
So that's what really saves Carlos Correa when he's fielding. Same thing with Javi Baez. I give Baez a little more room because I think he generally he had more footwork than Correa. Third base, we've seen before shortstops move to third base. We've seen A-Rod get moved to third base when he got traded to the Yankees. So
Uh-huh.
it's a lot easier to balance it out. The best way to do it, and I think to even be a better third baseman, take a lot of reps at shortstop, and you will be a
Right.
better third baseman. It's a lot easier. Only thing that I will say is you cannot try to be as smooth as you are at short that you are at third. It will not go hand in hand because you'll realize that smoothness, you don't have time like that at third. Balls are being hit so hard that the moment if you try to do anything that's extra, the ball's by you at third. It's going to be smoked, an
Mm.
error is going to happen. You're going to field it wrong. It's just so much could happen. So I would say take the reps at short and then move over to third. It's easy. That's the
Mm.
easiest it could get.
In other
Don't do
words, just be. Go ahead, go ahead. And don't do what? My
don't
apologies, I had that on.
don't do third then short because it's not going to go well.
It's not. In other words, just try to be versatile as much, but don't overdo it. It's like
Correct.
saying, like I said, I'm gonna use football terms, my boy, because you're making me think of football. Don't overdo your position if you're playing safety. Because like I said, if you checked out football, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking as a former corner. Corners, so it goes like this. So we have the linemen up front, then you got the inside and outside linebackers. If they didn't do their job, you know what I'm saying, making the cut, doing the covers and all, especially cover four, cover six, because of the slant runs and all that. It's our job.
Mhm.
And when we fuck up, whatever you were just describing for your boys from the pitch to the third baseman, guess how the safety feels? It's like basically when we fuck up, the safety has to do the whole thing and he has to scan the whole fucking field. So safety and third baseman have a lot in common because you can't do hella much, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
unlike, well, then again, no, I take it back. Well, safety, they do got to do hella, but you got to think even faster without getting your ass fucked up. It's just like saying for y'all, you ain't trying to break your fucking ankles. Y'all ain't got no pads like how we did it, you know what I'm saying? You break your fucking ankle like, fuck, bruh. Well, where the fuck was that ball going? And this ball was going that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it.
Uh, I think you answered this, but like, let's if you unless you want to emphasize, right? So I appreciate you, my boy. I always do a lot of combo questions. You checked out my stuff,
You're
so
good.
you
No,
pretty
no,
much
no.
answered
You're
like
good.
two out of the three already. I'm like, fuck. What do I ask you now? But hold on. Do those positions require different mindsets? It does, which I'm gonna just add, but emphasize on what we talked about in terms of you being a third and midfielder.
So the mindset, really, I'll be honest. The mindset, it's a little different, not much different. And I'm going to
Also,
explain this because I'm pretty sure all my third basemen who've played short, who are primary third basemen, will understand this. And some shortstops, I believe, will also understand this too. The mindset's a little different in the sense of this. When you're at third and the ball gets hit hard to you, you know that you have so much time that you don't really have to
mhm,
feel rushed or anything.
right.
When you're a shortstop, you're not going to feel rushed, but because it's a lot more footwork and a lot more like you need to know the spin of the ball, the way the ball came off the bat. in a way, you're not rushing, but you know that, okay, I need to get this ball out much quicker than I would at third. So I think the
Right.
biggest mindset difference is I need to just get the ball out faster. And I need to know, like, my route's correct. I need to know which way I'm going. So it depends on really, I would say that's really the big mindset difference is, okay, I need to make sure that I get rid of this ball quick or whatever the case is. Because again, it's a lot more range from short to third. So that's really it.
Right.
And if you have the arm, it's a little different because when you know that you could throw hard, you in a way, you kind of know, okay, if I by accident take one wrong route, my arm potentially could save me to still get that runner out. If I don't have an arm, that one bad step, that runner is now safe at first. And now that runner could start a rally for the other team. So stuff like that is really what makes difference in the mindset of playing short and playing third. Second, I'm not speaking much on second because second is, not going to lie, second's a little similar to third in my opinion. It's a little similar
How's
because
that?
you could still take time depending how the ball's hit. So second, I really say it's similar to third, but it's not because the range is what's different. But generally speaking, I think short and third are the biggest mindset like difference.
Okay, for sure. In other words, I'll just use another football analogy just to make it real simple. No, no, no. It does make perfect sense, right? Because we talk about cannon arms and all that. And I'm just adding this as a fun fact. I guess how it felt when Russell Wilson, excuse me, that initially started with the Seahawks, my fault. Me being another fan, how he felt, when he got drafted. They always look at those type of players, and they're honestly those are perfect candidacy for quarterbacks, or more so right now in the offseason, what they're doing with Kyle Murray. Like since he's relatively new to the game, even though he's been in for quite some time, he can go to MLB because whatever you're describing, they did those exact same positions. And on top of that, me being a former running back as well, you basically explain how I feel for y'all if y'all from a quarterback sense. Because if y'all do all that shit, just how we felt when we got to run the fucking ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you're making it easier for our ops. And I'm like, hold on, bro, where the fuck did you pitch the ball at? I don't know where ball's going. This is down the third, and then the whole outfield's all fucked up, and then now we just made it easier for the opposing team, right? From what you're trying
yeah,
to tell me.
yeah.
The point is, it can be a bitch. At least we got past though. Imagine doing that. Everybody done scraped up and break their fucking ankles and be like, "You fucking moron." Am I right though?
No, you're not wrong. You're not
Yeah,
wrong
that's
at
all I
all.
get it.
You're not wrong at all.
Exactly. Fucking A. So on that note, we were just discussing about this. Oh, I love it. What's how do y'all read defense and how y'all react to it? I was just discussing that on mine. So basically, what's your opinion on that?
Are you asking like when I'm hitting? Are you asking like when the defense is shifting stuff like that? Are you asking it from
Yeah.
an offensive
Yeah.
standpoint?
Yeah, my boy, that's respected. That's rhetorical, of course. I'm asking, yeah. So from that standpoint, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So as a hitter, and I like
Uh-huh.
this because as a hitter, if you see certain teams have your scouting report. Certain teams know who you are
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
depending what team
Yeah.
you play. So certain teams are gonna already have, all right, well, this hitter might hit more to the left side. Now, if they don't usually know you, they're just gonna shift you to the left. I'll be honest. At least
Right.
from my
Right.
experience, if they don't know you, they're gonna shift you to the left because their first thing is, yeah, he's just gonna pull the ball and that's gonna be it. If
Right.
they do have you as that they believe you're gonna pull the ball, I usually say hit it to the center right field. Hit it to center right because they're already giving you that. And now that's a double, easy double. Now,
Right.
if let's say if they know me and they know, all right, he's going to hit to center right. This is where it gets a little more complicated because if that's your strength, you only have two options now. Option A is being you either hit it over their head, or you
Mm-hmm.
hit it in front of them, or you're going to have to pull the ball, either or.
All right.
So what I would usually do is I think, all right, If they're gonna play me far back, I also look at, are they playing me far back or are they playing me in? If they're gonna shift me in, then I know, all right, I'll be fine because all I need to do connect with the ball and it's gonna be behind them. I'll be fine. Now, if they're
Right.
moving me and they're saying, nah, we're gonna play him back, then it's all right. I'm gonna tap the ball and put it into center field because that's an easy single and now I'm on base. So
Right.
it depends on really where the infield is. It takes a lot of analyzing. And then another thing too that I also take into account is how is the pitcher pitching to everyone else? Because if he's going, let's just say slider outside, that means all right. So if they're already shifting me to the right side, I'm gonna literally have to tap the ball in front of the right fielder, so then the right fielder can't get it, or
Right.
I have to put it over his head. It's really you have to really see what's going on in the game, and then you could predict. All right, another thing you could also do for all my baseball fans and baseball players, if you
Fanatics.
see
Uh-huh.
if you see the right fielder, they have a weak right fielder, a weak center fielder, a weak whatever position is weak, you could potentially
Uh-huh.
say, all right, I have to hit it to them because there's a chance that that's a hit if it's hit to the right
Right.
fielder.
Find a weak spot.
Yes. And if you know, okay, the second baseman's weak, I might be able to hit a line drive or a ground ball there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of ground balls. I'm gonna be honest, I'm really not a big fan of ground balls. I say line drives, really line drives. Fly balls,
Uh-huh.
I'm also really not big on, but I take my chances on a fly ball than a ground ball.
Okay, but why do you say that though? Like, why you're not a big fan of it?
Well, because think about it like this. There's 6 infielders. There's the pitcher, there's the first baseman, there's the second baseman, there's the shortstop, there's the third
Mm-hmm.
baseman, and there's the catcher. That's 6 infielders. There's 3 outfielders. Your center fielder, your right fielder, and your left fielder. So, would you rather take your chance on 6 people getting a ground ball, or would you rather take your chance on hitting a line drive or a fly ball with 3 people? I'm taking my chance with the 3 people because I'm pretty sure the ratio and the percentage is probably higher if the ball's in the air versus if the ball's on the ground.
No, that makes perfect sense because you have a better sense of like strategy and all that. Mind you, my boy, you're making me think, like I said, as a DB, but like I said, my fault, y'all. We have to use football analogy just to make perfect sense, right?
Nah,
But
it's all
that's
good.
like, and that's more sense of it make it easier for the safety. So for
Yep.
more of the outfielders, you know what I'm saying? So I would agree what you're saying. I'm not just saying that just because you the homie, you know what I'm saying? I mean that, for one athlete to another, that makes perfect sense. Like I'd rather get them 3 rather than deal with the ground. And I'm like, it's like us trying to catch a fucking fumble or somebody that caught like a short pass and that got to dive. And now we got to worry about that person and how's that going to progress in the game as well because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of confusing shit. It's
Yep.
just easier, y'all, just to put it like that. It's best to be
Agreed.
up in the
I
air
agree.
and all that rather than fucking. I'm looking down at the ground. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are we doing? And I feel bad. Like I said, think of like of the midfielders and all that's what you do. Just like I'm trying to relate to like mid linebacker to cornerback is like fuck. What are the guys in the back supposed to do? Because I think we look hella lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
agree.
I'll go exactly. So going on that, right? Oh shit, my fault, y'all.
You're good. You're good.
No, I know you. I know. I'm just speaking courtesy to everybody, not just you. Damn it. Because you got people watching it, not just us. But anyways, how does positioning change depending on this in the situation? I know we just talked about that, but if you want to emphasize, go ahead.
So easy. How does that change? I'll speak on it now from a defensive standpoint. Then,
All right,
um,
cool.
so let's say a hitter in the first and second inning. Now, if you have a scouting report, brush this all off because the scouting report's going to tell you where this guy's going to hit it. We're going to go based
You're right.
off of if you do not have the scouting report.
Yeah, let's
If the
do that. That's
player,
even better because it makes it more interesting.
yep. So let's say the player in the first at bat swings and he's been all day long fouling off balls. Second at bat, he hits a ground ball to the second baseman or he hits it up the middle. Let's say he gets a hit. that third at bat, I would probably suggest. I wouldn't even say, to be quite honest, I wouldn't go up the middle.
Why is that?
I would probably say there you're gonna position him regularly, maybe shift a little up the middle, and that's about it. Now, if this hitter has been late on almost every pitch, I will I would say shift him to the right side. Do not move him up the middle because he might have on that first at bat just got lucky and timed it good. But if he's
Right.
been fouling off a lot of pitches, that's your indicator. Yo, he's gonna he's gonna end up hitting it to the right side of the field. Now, another thing you could do too is you could read his swing. This is another big one. If you're able to read a hitter's swing, a lot of hitters will give away right away how they're gonna swing. A lot of hitters pull out right away. A lot of you could kind of read that. Like, all right, this hitter
Right.
is really pulling. This hitter, all his foul balls are going to the left side, even if it's on an outside pitch. You could read that and say, okay, if he's gonna hit the ball, it's gonna be it's gonna be to me. It's not gonna be to anyone else. So
Right.
you kind of have to read the swing, what he's done in the past in the game, and from there you could kind of see, all right, this is where I'm gonna play him. Now, of course, there's gonna be times where your guess, your I would at that point that's an educated guess. At that point, your educated guess, there's gonna be times where you're wrong, where it's like, nah, he pulled it, and I thought he was gonna go to right field or whatever the case is. And there, it's really like you can't do anything about that because it's more like, well, no, he put it where I wasn't expecting it. So you can't down yourself for that. But if you see and you know, yeah, this hitter's tendency is he's gonna pull off the ball, so play we're gonna play him toward the third and shortstop side, then
Mhm.
that's that. But if not, leave it how it is.
In other words, just go with the fucking flow. Just follow. Just come through with the ball's going. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's how you got to get shifty
Basically.
with it. Yeah.
Basically.
What's the toughest type of exactly? What's the toughest type of play to read in game? I know we were literally discussing about that, my boy, but emphasize.
So okay. For shortstop, I'll say this, the 5-6 hole. If you're in the 5-6 hole is in between the third and shortstop. That's the hardest play, I will say. That is by far the hardest play because that takes one footwork and that takes two. You have to have an arm. If you don't have an arm, that player, the uh, the the hitter who hit it, there we go. The hitter who hit it will be safe at first. So it takes footwork
Right.
and your arm. At third,
Right.
the hardest play to make, I will say, is probably the same thing, a backhand play that goes into foul territory. Those are the hardest because that's another one. You need to have the arm and you need to react. Like you need
Right.
to know like right away, all right, that's hit. I see where the ball is. I'm gonna go to the right side. So it depends on that too. Both of those, it's like those are the hardest plays to make when you're on the field.
Right. Because you're trying to figure out where the ball's fucking going.
Yep. And it's a lot of footwork. Lot of footwork. He's at short, a
My
lot of footwork.
my boy. Yeah, like I said, you talk to a fellow athlete. You make it's like how we felt when we be our when we're corners. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of footwork for us, but we're technically the babysitters to the safety. So, like I said, it's a lot for work for y'all, but at least for the outfielders, you're making it slightly easy for them. Because I'm like, bro, do I gotta do a bunch of aerobics and fucking catch the damn fucking ball? Especially if you got a fucking player that hits cannons. Just imagine
Yeah.
how they feel. You know what I mean? Like, bro, can you please make it easy for us so we ain't got to extend or have any serious injuries, especially, for the sake of the fans. Like, especially for the tall players, right? Someone for us 5'11" dudes, but like I'm talking about like those players are like 6'2", 6'3", with a long wingspan where they gotta act like Michael Jordan and shit. Like, bro, we're trying to make it easy because we ain't trying to smack the fan, especially if it's a kid. He's trying to catch the ball, be like, Dad, I got it. Then fuck. We didn't read the play right. I mean, he still got the ball, but he got a boo boo. And then here comes legality on a serious note. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
But here's your ball. But on that note, now we're just going on you now, my boy. So this is gonna be chill. how's your growth in the collegiate level, even though you're JUCO? Unless y'all
No,
JUCO's like A1. I didn't do too much on where you're from on y'all's division. So how does it feel like for your school? Is y'all really like baseball players like that based on y'all division? Like y'all really have some players coming out of there going to P4 or not fuck that P5 and all that, or what's the deal? How's the growth
so
for
we're
JUCO?
no,
Because it's
we're a
treacherous,
good
that's a
team.
given.
We're a good team. We're right now we're not doing so well, but I think we'll pick it up. The
And I'm
growth
speaking.
on the
My
growth.
fault. My fault. I'm actually speaking like my apologies, y'all. And I'm speaking from a broad standpoint, not like right now. Like like the history of your school and all that. But continue.
If we're speaking from a growth standpoint, so we didn't have a good year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this year, I think we'll do better this year. I definitely think we're gonna have a better season. I think as a team, we're gonna be just fine. I think we're just having a rough patch, and we'll get through it. And I'm pretty sure. Listen, it's still kind of the beginning, so I'm not worried yet. Once we're in the halfway point, then we got to start figuring out like what's going on. But I think we're gonna be just fine. I think by the time we get to the halfway point, we'll be just fine and we'll be a winning team. So
Right.
I think we'll be fine from a growth standpoint. Um,
I'll put it
if we're
like this:
speaking about
is y'all hold on? Is y'all like no from a team standpoint, but you can add yourself in there, right? Like, is y'all ballers like that? Like y'all really produce everybody's like I said, going to P5 and P4 schools, or matter of fact, going straight to the pros, or what's the deal? So, in the broadest standpoint, including yourself.
no, we have some players that are probably after this season gonna go D1, D2. We definitely do have some players like that. So yeah, we have
Or
a
even
lot of
going
ballers.
pro.
Yeah, we also have those too. I would say we have a lot of ballers.
Okay, for sure.
So
Have y'all been real consistent on that, or has it only been like that for the past 5 to 10 years?
I wouldn't know. I'll be honest. I wouldn't know.
That's all speaking broadly, my boy. But yeah, that's good. That's good. At least y'all producing a lot, and at least y'all are not going to the lower levels like D3 NII, which is there's nothing wrong. But if you want to get exposure in a professional sense, yeah, you got to go D1, D2,
Yeah.
especially the FBS level,
Even though
because
I
that's where
won't
all the
lie,
big shit is at.
I wouldn't shame D3. D3 actually in baseball has gotten a lot of athletes.
No, no, no. I'm
A
not
lot of
saying it. I'm
athletes
just
came
speaking
out
in
of
general.
D3.
I mean, aside the bougie shit where you get taken care of like full Scali and NIA, that part. But I'm talking
Yeah.
about in terms of exposure. You know what I mean? Like you don't see all them on the TV. You know what I'm saying? You gotta catch them in the cut, or you gotta catch them like this on PPTV. But no, I totally get it. Yeah, D3 for sure got some ballers. And if you don't mind, I'll share another football reference. There's this one footballer, you know what I'm saying? He played for D3. And you already know with D3 and NI athletes, they don't you already know by NCAA regulations, they ain't got no fucking scholars. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, and this is the cool thing too about them. They'll get exposed in the most unexpected places. So I forgot this player's name. He was from the deep south. He knocked down
Hmm.
three dudes from University of Georgia. So imagine this big boy probably has a simple 9 to 5, 9 times out of 10, which I ain't knocking. Like I said, you ain't there unless if you have hella academic scholars, and which they do because they emphasize a lot on D3 and NIA on your academics. And I mean, it's not hella bougie, basically. We all know that. And just imagine you catch players like that working a 9 to 5, like, hey, bro, and I saw you on the combine and with the it's same thing for your MLB players. You have one hell of a baller, and then you just see Brett just being a normal person. So I
Yeah.
ain't knocking it. It's all within the player. But in terms of exposure, that's a given Shaq. Oh, I mean, Shaq. I mean,
Well,
my
yeah,
fault.
of
Fact. Sorry,
course.
y'all. You have to
I,
go D1 because that's where they get all the shit at. You know what I mean? And they go to these big conferences because you got to really stretch your name out. So for any type of player to be like, oh shit, bro, let's bring them onto the D1 program for showcasing. So, but D3 now, in terms of the grit and grind and academics, because student is always first and foremost. They really take that shit seriously. Yeah, D3 hands down for sure.
yeah, and that's why I don't disagree that D1, of course, like if we're speaking from exposure, D1 is. I mean, they are on ESPN Plus, ESPN sometimes. So yeah, from there, I would say though, I think at any level you could get in baseball, especially. Um, so in baseball, D1 gets the most, of course. JUCO, I believe, is number 2, and then D3 is number 3 on our list for who
Bro.
gets drafted the most, and then D2 is number 4. At least with the best
Right.
players that has came out, it goes D1, JUCO, D3, and then D2.
Right. You know, it does. That's perfect sense. And to go back on a weird point, like in terms of full scholarly, right? You already know when you go D1, it's all about us footballers and hoopers because that brings a lot of revenue. We're not talking shit. This
Yeah.
is a fact. Especially NII
No, no,
with
no.
y'all
You're
youngsters.
absolutely right.
I'm
Because
I'm a
a lot of
no no
you
oh shit.
guys,
You go no no you go first. You go first. Joe. I'm getting excited. So go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
no, you're absolutely right because you guys, they told me this before, and even in a lot of other levels too. Um, Football and basketball has the most revenue.
Right.
Baseball doesn't really get much revenue, and it doesn't really get the foundation and stuff like how you guys get it. So I completely agree with you.
Right. And to add on with that, right? And shout out my brothers in the baseball team. Y'all know who y'all is, and I'm gonna tap in with y'all in a minute. Going to San Jose State, right? We have hella ballers, and we're actually not as much of a football school. We're more like baseball and soccer. The crazy
Hmm.
thing is, even though in terms of revenue, they pick and choose. So I'm gonna tell you this, my boy. Like, if you don't mind me asking, and not to fast forward, unless if you're about to transfer or go pro, but if you plan to transfer, do you plan to are you hoping to get FBS or FCS or just be cool with whatever?
I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, so I don't know.
FBS.
So
I've
in
never heard
full,
of it.
okay, so it's in football terms, right? So football subdivision, then FCS. I forgot this football conference subdivision or something like that. But in other words, like, are you just cool with any D1 school, or like there's a specific dream school you would love to go to, unless if you plan to go pro, which is a given.
So with that, I would say,
This is you personally, my
honestly,
boy. This ain't a general thing.
this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. I'm okay with going to any D1, D2 school, any school, as
Uh,
long as it's going to be fair. And what I mean by fair is everyone gets an opportunity to showcase what they're about and not
right.
we're just bringing you on here for a number. No offense to schools that do that, but schools do that. That's what I would do. Any school that's going to give me a fair shake and a fair opportunity and let me do me, I'll gladly go to any of those schools.
All right. And I'm gonna tell you this, my boy. It's actually, non P5s and and D2 D3s, because when you go to a P5 or in certain lower smaller D1 schools, they are picky. And I'm not trying to diss my youngins and all that because I'm related to this personally. My university is one of them. So I'm gonna just speak the obvious, right? Scholarly wise, you think, oh shit, I go D1, I'm gonna get a full ride. It don't work like that, especially when you go to a FBS. I don't know how to explain. That's just football to like football subdivision, which is like, and especially depending on locality, like if you go to a school that's hella bougie, like a party school and all that, and it's like a sports school for sure, they're gonna be hella picky with you. I'm not trying to knock it. Like I said, for all my youngins
Mhm.
watching and then that I keep in touch with, it's all up. But this is facts because y'all told me as well, and I seen the chemistry. You go in there and be like, oh yeah, I one hell of a third baseman midfielder with the woo. They're gonna judge you, and you really gotta stretch out because they'd rather take a transfer or take somebody that played
Yeah.
varsity ever since their sophomore year of high school. And those are the ones that get a full scholarly.
Hmm.
Because, like I said, when you think D1, they think all y'all got schollies. Y'all are gonna get the vibe of how people of walk-ons feel because y'all would just get scouted, be like, but you're not on scholarly, young man. So my fault because you don't really play like that. Or y'all will get the D2 vibe, be like, hey, we got you, but we only got you half because we
Yeah.
got this dude and he's one hell of a baller. And like I said, if we're speaking fresh out, right? He was one hell of a baller. He's been varsity ever since sophomore year, or hell, even freshman year, if he really pulls some strings. That's a probability, but that can possibly even happen. Or nowadays with the landscape of sports, they're gonna take a transfer. You know what I mean? They're gonna take an all
Yeah.
head
And
over us, especially what happened
no,
with COVID, but
absolutely.
that's a given. So
And
that's what
no,
I'm saying, my boy. You
I agree with all of that. And a lot of it's funny you even say that because
and my
even at
fault. I'm not
D1,
even trying to talk shit. I'm saying this. I saw this from
no,
experience.
I, I
You know
I'm
what I
I'm
mean?
agreeing with you because even at
Yeah.
D1, there's a lot of players. I saw the stat the other day, but I can't remember the number.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a
Go ahead.
lot of players that come in from high school that go D1 that they're promised a full scholarship, and they get there and their scholarship is taken away the moment they step foot onto the field.
And they would take all heads like us, not to sound like an asshole, because we're
No,
vets.
and I agree with you because you guys, they look at it more of an experience, and there's a whole bunch of things that also play a role in it other than just experience. But
Right.
I agree with you on it.
No, and that is true, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, shout out to my young boys. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give one of them a shout. Shout out to Gary, you know what I mean? He's one hell of a pitcher. He got a cannonball. And I think I remember when I transferred there, he was like the only dude, or one of out of two dudes that got a full scholarship. Everybody else was on partial, or a lot of them were acting like D3 athletes. They took their education seriously, so they got academic scholars, but not the athletic one because
Mhm.
coach was hella nitpicking, be like, how well was you balling in high school? If not, I got these transfers right here. You either do the
Yeah.
constant fucking transfer, which I honestly think is a bitch. Like I said, if you went to college, basically, I would say my graduation year, right? So if you went to college, 2015 and prior, you already know you would have to sit out. But knowing the sense that NIL, they don't give a fuck to be like, oh, bro, you a baller, you transfer here from there, bro, we got you, we'll pay you your shit. But it's tricky though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but if you're a football and basketball player, that's a given. But yeah, let's go. But what we can all agree on though is a bitch when you go P5. You know what I'm saying? Because they get the most exposure. They're the ones like I don't know if you can hear in the background, y'all. I always play sports in the background. They're the ones that get stuck on ESPN. Be like, hey, bro, can I fucks with you to the point where I can put you on ESPN every day, or you're gonna embrace us on national television, especially when the tourneys come around. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So I get where they're coming at, but I feel bad for y'all. It's like, damn, bro, I came to a dope ass D1 school and I get no scholarly. What the fuck, bro? Do I gotta play fucking transfer portal now? Like,
Nah,
what's your opinion on that? I think it's a
the
bitch
transfer
is
portal.
honestly annoying. Yeah, like in
The
general, and especially for y'all, because like I said, y'all don't get much exposure, so it's more
so
complicated for y'all. Where a lot of them end up going down a division rather than go to another part of the same division, going to another D1 compared to football and basketball players.
so I'll say this. I'll say this. The transfer portal. I like the idea of the transfer portal. I do, but I will say this about it. I do disagree with going to the transfer portal for a 24-year-old versus a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old. And I'm going to explain why this is. In
Go ahead.
baseball, majority of primes are hit at 25 years old.
Well, actually,
So,
that actually goes in. No. You're right, my boy. I'm just adding this. My fault. Now we're getting into like human biology. That's a given because you hit your prime between 25 and it starts slowing down. Just depending on your physicality, that's a given. But 25 for sure. But continue.
so back to the transfer portal. So when they go to the transfer portal, and let's say they get a player who's 23 or 24 years old,
Hmm.
23, I'm still iffy on because of this reason. You're 2 years away. If you are in the minor leagues, you're 2 years away from your prime. 25 is when you're supposed to hit your prime. Anywhere from 25 to 27, you're supposed to be in the MLB and you're supposed to be in your prime. Those are your prime years in the MLB. Now, you have some exceptions, like Jose Bautista hit his prime in, like, I think he was 28 or 29, which is, in baseball, that's late. Very late.
Hey, that's my age. I'm just like continue. All right, continue. I had to talk
So,
to you. Continue.
in baseball, that's late. So when you go to the transfer portal, in a way, if
Uh,
you're starting the 23 or 24-year-old over that 20-year-old, in a way, you're kind of not helping the 20-year-old. At some point, now that 20-year-old, you're kind of, and I don't want to make this sound wrong, but in a way, you're throwing his career away. He has
right.
more of a
No, I
career
agree.
going for him at the age of 20 than the 23, 24-year-old. And I'm not bashing the 23, 24-year-olds because if you still
Yeah,
make
you're not
it,
trying to be an ageist. Just continue on, my boy.
listen, if you're 23, 24, I'm not bashing you. But I am
Right,
saying that there is a chance that you are taking away from a 19, 18, 19, 20, maybe even a 21-year-old. You are
right.
taking away to a certain extent their career. So I disagree with that point of the transfer portal. I think at some point it's like you kind of shouldn't even be here anymore. Like you were supposed to graduate when you were 21, 22, and you're still here. So I disagree with that part of the transfer portal. The part I do agree with is listen, if you have to go to the transfer portal to get a better right fielder, center fielder, left fielder, do it. I mean, if the person can't hold it down and not doing his part, then I completely understand why you're going there to the transfer portal. But I think if it's for like the age, I think like certain things need to be like, all right, like why are you in the transfer portal for a 24-year-old over the 19-year-old? Who the 19-year-old has a chance to go pro or to go D1, whatever, wherever the role is at, if that makes sense.
No, no, no. It does make sense. But look, I'm gonna say this, my fault. I'm speaking as a '90s baby, right? Me being 29, life happens for me, right? I'm not taking it personally, and like I appreciate you and I'm proud of y'all. You know what I mean? But it just depends on what you can offer to the table and how well you can get to that goal. But I do agree, like, get it get out as soon as possible because it goes fast, especially with all the politics going on. And like I said,
Yeah,
luckily you're not a footballer or a basketballer. It's harder. It's somewhat harder for them, but it's also easier. So if you have like a solid, my apologies, I had to check something. If you have like a solid rep, that's when some of that goes out the door. Because I got homeboys. You feel me? I'm gonna give him one shout. You might look at him. He's an old far right, but he's actually a veteran at this. And also, I'm gonna speak another veteran player that's actually a freshman in Arkansas. That's a wide receiver now, and he's an MLB freshman as well, and he's around my age. Is if you have a good solid background on that, then yeah, you hit your prime, but you still got your physicality. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah,
depending on how well you take care of yourself, but you got to prove a lot more. Now, going back to the youngins, it goes down to y'all because y'all got a lot more and y'all got a lot more longevity. But
yes.
in terms of physicality, you cannot knock it, my boy. Someone's got that old
No,
man
no, I'm
strength.
not
Someone still
knocking.
got it.
I'm not knocking
But we
that
just
part.
gotta prove it. We just gotta prove it a little more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It just gets more complex in terms of if you're a non-football or non-basketball player in terms of baseball. So I sort of get the point in terms of baseball because we're taking a lot from y'all even more because y'all don't get much exposure unless if you're a football or a basketball player. You know what I mean? That's why you even got
yes,
these star athletes, or actually not even just that, even star celebrities. I forgot his name. Oh yeah, Tootsie. I think that's what he went by, right? He ended up going to Syracuse. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Oh
wow,
boy, everybody knew him because he was a rapper. But when they saw like his resume, when he did like simple route runs up at the training facility, be like, "Oh, bro, we got you." And Brez a little younger than me. Like I said, I'm 29. He's like 25, 26, but he's one hell of a baller. So we talk about prime. Yeah, you got a point, my boy. But it's just about the exposure, you know. But in terms of education, it's never too late. That I
no, of
mean,
course,
we respect
education never
that
too late.
in a humbling sense, respectfully. I'm off on the talk like an old head. That you can't take away. You know what I mean? But in terms
No,
of prime wise, you two
of
get
course,
it.
education. Of course, I completely agree with
Right.
that. I think
And,
education, like,
hold
listen,
on one second. I don't mean to interrupt. And also another thing too. I'm gonna be real. This is the first time I'm gonna share, right? And then shout out to if any of the coaches are watching. Even though I'm still trying to work around my eligibility, I still plan to hoop. And even though I'm 29 years old, but hey, life happened for me. I was on and off school for 6 years, but I still keep a good fit, my boy. Like I'm gonna be a buck with you. Do I look 29? Yes or no?
nah, I thought you were 25. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were
Exactly.
24.
So
I,
peep
I,
this.
I didn't think you were
I see,
29.
but you can tell from one athlete to another, even though I'm chilling at the house. You see, I take care of myself, you know what I mean? So in terms of physicality, we still got that. But what I'm saying is you do got a point because we're on a time clock. So it
Yes,
is a lot of work for us. I mean, we feel bad for y'all shit. Now you make it feel bad for y'all because we're wasting y'all time clock. But it's also worse for us as well because we're thinking like, fuck, what do we do? Because also when in the draft, that's one of the main components of going undrafted because they do play ageism, which I get.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it goes both ways. See, that's what they will agree on is ageism. Everything else, nah, let's be humble about all that, respectfully. But ageism, I totally get because once the scouts see you, they could be like, oh shit. Because like I said, shout out my brother Lou Headley, even though a lot of people were fuck with him because he's a veteran for Australian rugby. A lot he went undrafted and he sort of bounced around the league as we speak. Respectfully, got love for you, brother. If you remember me from JUCO, but they also base him because he's 29 and he had a gang and he has a whole family. So imagine you competing with dudes like that. But then again, there's a lot of pros and cons to that shit.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not fully against like a 24 year old playing. It's not that. I just think, listen, there's a lot of things you could do afterwards. If after 21 you want to, like, there's, I know there's I don't know what they call it for football, but for baseball we have indie ball leagues. So try
Oh
getting
yeah,
into one
arena
of those.
football. I'm out on my fault. Yeah, it's called arena ball. Arena ball.
There. So you have leagues like that. Like, go do that. You get, first of all, you get paid for it, and if you're really good, like, some of these teams like will sign you out of there. Like, in baseball, the way it works is, so if you go indie ball, let's say you play, I'm just gonna go off the one that's on the top of my head, the Jackals.
You know, you give up
Let,
on this, better go, go, go.
so if you're with the Jackals and you get you, let's just say you sign with the Jackals, your deal is, let's say you make, I don't know, 8,000 a month. So let's just say, I'm not sure, I don't have the math in front of me. Let's just say you get paid $72,000 to play there.
All right.
An MLB team could buy that contract out, and now they're paying you what they were.
Right.
Some teams will do that, or they'll give you a new contract and say,
Right.
we want you here. So in my opinion, like, those are also options that I think after like the age of, I would say 22, it's like, I think if you guys want to keep playing, like, those are, I think, better options. You're not going to be in debt from playing, because remember, college, there is a debt if you're not on scholarship.
Right.
So there's no debt with playing, and you're getting paid to play. Like, what better
Right.
thing would you want? Like, you're literally getting paid to be there.
Right.
So it's not
And
like, all right, well, if I'm getting benched or whatever the case might be, injured, whatever, at least I'm still getting paid my portion.
right. And that's a given, you know what I'm saying? And the cool thing is, I don't know, I think it's applicable to MLB, right? Like, say, for example, you go to these arena footballs and that, or shit, or even if you go up north, CFL, you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing, too. Be like, oh, shit, bro, you balling like that? And these NFL teams check you out, boom. They can switch up like that, but they got to catch you in the offseason. Be like, oh, your season's over. You want to come holla at us? Let's check you out. And you could be a top priority for rookie minicamp. Same
Yep.
thing, or even this is even way better. Shout out to all the ballers, and I play basketball too. You know, I'm PG, obviously, because I'm 5'11", damn it. So, yeah, if you're 6'3" and below, you know how it works. You know what I mean? But it's all about the wingspan, damn it. But it's even easier, much easier for NBA because in a way, and all my ballers can correct me from my understanding as a baller as well. NBA is a little more lenient because when you go internationally, and shout out to my cuz Claude, you know what I mean? He plays for his home country up at Uganda and he was trying to go back and forth. If you play internationally, which gets a better rep, or you play the G League of you know of like the Lakers, of the Warriors, like you know Santa Cruz and all that's South Bay and all that stuff, they'll look at you be like, oh shit, we done missed out on this old fuck. And I'm looking for the older heads, 25 and up. Let's take them on. But you really got to prove yourself because this is when y'all youngsters come and be like, should we take you out of fucking JUCO or even high school? Because y'all could do high school too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about physicality. Or do we take you? But it's just a lot of proving, but at least you have a chance in the pros. It's just a lot of technicalities to it. And you cannot
Yeah.
lie for baseball, that goes for y'all too. Imagine if I mean, I can throw, but I'm not much of a baseballer. But I'll have more competition with y'all, or because, you know, you can get recruited straight out of high school. That's a given. You know, go straight to the
Yeah.
pros. You know what I
You're
mean? So
you're
it'll be
absolutely
so
right.
matter of fact, on a whole note for both of us, it'll be harder for both of us. Imagine if I play baseball, right? I mean, I got a cannon, but I don't know much about baseball. But if we had this conversation, imagine if a youngster just hopped on and he's finna graduate, be like, "Hey, I'm finna go MLB." What the fuck? That means one hell of a player that the Yankees, the Cardinals, everybody wants his ass, and he's only 18, even 17. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And you know the stories, but it's all about how you perceive it and get it done. You know what I'm saying? But what we
Absolutely.
can say, my fault, I'm just speaking of life as a young, my fault. Now this is the old me coming in.
No, you're good. You're
Education
good.
wise, you know, there's never too late. But also, and I'm saying this as a poli sci major, there's a lot of ageism because in the workforce, right, they're gonna judge you off your age right away because they'd be like, can you handle this? Like, is your thought process right? Because they'd rather take a young buck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless if you aim for a manager position, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Which I'm sort of doing right now. So, like I tell some of my fans, I mean, I only do this on the side. I actually do this out of love. If you're wondering, I don't get paid for this. I do this out of love. You know what I mean? So I do this off of vibes because I'm a project manager. You know what I mean, for a tech company. And hey, benefit of working from home, right?
Hey,
So
listen, working from home's a dub. I don't care what anyone
oh
says.
yeah,
That's
it's lit. Like right
a
now, I
dub.
like working with you. Like we're chilling, right? You since the vibe with the interview. Like bro, I got ESPN playing in the background. The Cardinals right now are. I mean, the A's are playing right now. You know what I'm saying? We're vibing. You know what I mean? We're doing our thing. But
Yeah.
going back to that, it's just one hell of a playing field. So that's why I said I feel bad for y'all baseballers and basketball players alike. Because imagine if you're saying this to an all-star high school player. You're like, bro, his ass finna go fucking pro, and what the fuck? Now I gotta compete with his ass. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what's your opinion on that? Like, have you ever come across players like that, or how do you feel those players coming out of high school and they go straight to the
So,
pros? You think they're ready for that? Mentally, I don't think because with all the money coming in, I'm gonna tell you that. Mentally
so I'll
wise.
say this. I'm 50-50 with this.
All right, let's speak on the
So,
bad 50. I want to hear the bad 50 than the good 50.
so,
My
all
twist.
right. So the bad one is if you're generally not ready, because a lot of things plays a role in that. You go to the pros,
Maturity.
you're going to be away from family, you're going to be away from your loved one. So that's one of them that
Mm-hmm.
you have to take to account for. Another one being it's going to be a lot harder and a lot more pressure because if you don't perform, they will release you. So you have to
And
also take on that if I don't do my part, they will release me.
right,
The good 50 is you're getting paid. So now, even if you're a first, second, third, fourth, you're probably set from if you're at first or second round and you know you're good with investing your money, you're probably not, you're probably set for life now. You're probably
right,
set for life.
right,
So that's what's good about it. And now from there on, now it's more like, all right, this is my career now. So what you love to do is now a career.
right,
So I think that's the good and the bad between both of them. I think it kind of depends on the player if you should go or not. It really like if you think you need
right,
a little more development and stuff, then you should probably stay in college. You get an
right,
NIL deal, stay in college. That's it because you're already valuable.
right.
If you're a player and you know I really don't need development. I know for a fact I could take on the best of the best and I'll be fine.
Like, like you were like that exact little boy. Be like, bro, I'm going pro, and this is for sure, right?
I mean, listen, if that was me, I would have just went pro. I'm going pro.
Right, and
So
I totally agree. But then again, I'm gonna add on the bad 50, right? It's like if shit goes bad for you, like and you're like one of the like I said, if you're a pro straight out of high school, just imagine how the scouts gonna look at you because they're gonna remember your name publicly. Be like, oh, ain't you bro from Wooty Woo? It's gonna be hard
yeah,
for you to slightly even go D1. And I'm not just saying not necessarily D1. I'm speaking like if you're trying to go P4, P5, because if you're trying to go to a big school, because after your pro bounce back, they're gonna judge you off of that. Be like, you didn't make it in the pros. What do you think you're gonna make it over here? Even though we got all the A1 everything and the biggest NIL. You know what I mean? Do you think
yeah.
you deserve it? You think you play up to the part? You know what I'm saying? So it's like a
No,
it's like a
I get
mini
it.
pros with those big schools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely get it.
That's why I say on some big brother shit, yeah, it's best to go lower division D1 if you got it like that. If not, there's nothing wrong with JUCO because
I
at least
agree.
JUCO is more optional, not because
Yeah.
the cause, but it's just more optional. You know that.
Hold on. You could still hear me, right? I'm good.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. Just making sure because it just said my
Cool,
mic
cool.
turned off. Just making
No,
sure.
no, you good, my boy. And I've been heard you. You good? But you heard what I
Okay.
just said, or you want me to repeat myself?
No, no, no. I heard you. I heard you.
All right, for sure. So going back to that, right? Going back to Bergen, what's the biggest adjustment playing for your soon to be alma mater?
Repeat that again.
What's the biggest suggestion playing for Bergen?
Big at the I would say I wouldn't say it's really a mechanical thing like hitting or fielding. I would probably say it's just
It's like an
grooving with
overall
the team.
question, my boy. So just like in general.
Oh, so I would just say grooving with the team because again in high school you know you're like you kind of know the people you're gonna be with because you're there for so long. So I
Yeah.
think it's just grooving with the team and getting to know them, and I would say that's probably the biggest adjustment.
Okay. Yeah, just team chemistry basically.
Yeah, basically, team
Oh,
chemistry
okay.
I think is the biggest adjustment for me.
Shit, like I said, especially so going back to your school, I'm gonna add my twist, right? So I asked you earlier, since like your school is like really like that. Do y'all get like a lot of bounce backs or like dudes that were about to go pro but they switched up last minute? Yes or no?
I'll be honest, I'm not even sure. I don't. I'm not sure, to be quite honest.
Okay.
So I can't give
It,
an honest answer. I just don't know.
that's good. I'll tell you this, and I think you would agree not to put words in your mouth. I bet you'd be more complex and be like, bro, how do I deal with this person, compete with this person? Because there's a lot of chemistry that the coach got to deal with. Is like, do we develop this recent bounce back or do we develop this new guy? Like going back to what we were saying about like, ageism and shit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The coach is great, though. I love the coach. He's great.
Sh- Shout out to coach, you know what I mean? If you want to give him a shout
Yeah.
out. What part of your game are you sharpening the most right now? Especially you being basically a multi-sport baller.
Wait. Repeat that again.
You good, you good. So you being both the midfielder and I forgot the other position, my fault, y'all.
Third base.
What part of your game are you sharpening the most right now, specifically?
Well, they have me mostly at short, so they're haven't had much there, but they've had me pitching. So I'll speak on pitching. It's going pretty good. The only issue that I've had early on, though, I just have to find the strike zone a little more, I would say. And other than that, I'd be fine, to be honest. Because I would say my slider's been looking pretty good. My splitter
Mm-hmm.
is my splitter's finally getting there. Now it's just
Mm-hmm.
being consistent, and now it's just when I need a pitch to land, like in the outside corner, being able to throw it there with confidence.
For sure, for sure. And has that greatly improved? I'm gonna just add on right there. Yes or
Yeah, no,
no?
it has improved.
Okay, for sure. You give a shout out to coach and he sees this, be like, all right, no, don't bullshit now, damn it. Respectfully. um, what motivates you to keep pushing at this level? Aside from familiar support and all that.
Well, what pushes me is the fact that like this could potentially be like the final part for me to get into the pros. So
Really?
yeah, this potentially could, even though, like, of course, if let's just say in these 4 years I decide indie ball next, I could really do something big within college, and I want to.
Okay,
And
good.
of
Proud of
course,
you,
with
my
me,
boy.
I want to listen. I want to play against the best of the best. Do not give me no one that's not the best of the best. I want the best teams. I want the best players, pitching, hitting, fielding. I want the best of the best. Give me any person that they consider the best. I want.
Okay, know your worth. You know what I'm saying? Never settle for less. Hey. So I'm gonna add on to this, bro, before I ask you this question. What is your dream MLB team?
Listen, I like all the teams, so
Now you
I'm
gotta
cool with
choose
all
one,
of
my
them.
boy. I gotta break it down for you. That's a good humbling answer, but let's break it down like for real.
I don't know. I guess let's go with the Yankees. I guess let's go with the Yankees
Wow, why you say that? Why you say the Yankees, my boy?
because there's such a big organization. Who wouldn't want to play for them? Or the Dodgers? I'm totally cool with being a Dodger too.
Fucking Dodger fan. I'm saying this because my family full of Giants.
I'm totally cool
All right.
with Dodgers too.
All right. Out of the two, what would you see? Now I'm gonna break it down. Out of the two, which one? Yeah, would you rather get a call from the Yankees or the Dodgers? Oh, I love playing with you saw my
This
interviews, my
one's
bro. I'm gonna break
hard.
it down for you. Yeah, I'm gonna break it down, and you got to give me specifics. If they gave you a call right now or right after the postseason, your coach came up to you be like, "Hey, the Dodgers and the Yankees want to come holla at you." What you gonna take?
I might just have to go with the Yankees, only because I'm from the East Coast. I
Where East
gotta go
Coast you
with.
from? Well, I don't really recognize your accent, like, cause I
I'm
I have
Jersey.
some family from out there. Oh, your
Jersey.
accent's not even that thick. I mean, because you probably saw some of my interviews, and then shout out my Kowalski. My fault, my brother, if I pronounce your name. Like he's from Jersey for real, and he's one of those natives that has a thick accent. I'm surprised you don't have much of a thick East Coast accent.
Nope.
I'm surprised, yeah. But yeah, so that's the reason why, because you want to stay at home, because that's why for the
Yeah,
Yankees
I'd
or
probably
why?
just if I had to, I gotta stay East Coast. My whole family's like New Jersey, and yeah, no, I gotta do probably the
Okay.
Yankees.
Is would that be like the main thing, or what happens? What about when it comes to like pay wise and all that? If the Dodgers had to come in and
What's
play,
the
be
pay
like,
difference?
huh? Like say for
What?
example, if it like no, what I'm saying, like how they take the value of the player depending on their contracts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, say for example, the Dodgers want you come out this way because they give you a better contract, and the Yankees don't. Would that come into play, or will other factors, or will be like, nah, I gotta stay close to family regardless, respectfully.
For me, oh man,
No, I noticed to
I
the
don't,
family,
it,
like family first and foremost. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of factors. You know what I'm saying, and you got to know your worth. So if they got
so
to really throw a pitch at your ass, what would it be?
I won't lie. I don't know. It kind of depends on like the. It depends on really. Well, it depends on a couple things there. Because I need to know like the money worth. Like, let's say one is offering 1 million and the other one's offering 1 million but 100,000 on top. I'm still gonna go
Yeah,
with the Yankees.
of guaranteed. Yeah.
But if it's like one's offering 6 million, the other one's offering 1 million, I'm going with the 6 million. I got to.
So say example. Okay, I got to flip the script on your ass. So if the Dodgers gave you 6 million, you would take that over the Yankees.
Yeah,
Basically.
basically.
And I would say this, from one son to another, I'd be like, hey, my pop, it's all love, but I think we got to relocate to LA now. Why? Because the Dodgers want me, and y'all want to come see some beaches or what or something?
No, that's exactly what I would tell them.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, well, I got a good deal, might as well. You know what I mean? Got to know your worth. Never settle for less, right?
Yeah.
Um, on that note,
Hold
oh
on.
shit, you there? My fault, y'all. Quick technical difficulties. Oh, y'all, we're back now. We're back, y'all. It was his fault. Another technical fucking
Nah, that's on
difficulty.
me, guys. My apologies, guys.
It's all good. So let me ask you this then, and I normally ask this from my fighters. What is the most veteran player that you already know that's about to hang it up, but he'll be like, "Hey JD, I want to play against you and your team before I retire." Which call would you love to get that from? For one
From
MLB
like,
player that you looked up as a little kid. Okay, I'll put it like this. I'll make you feel better, right? Okay, fast forward. You got drafted by the Yankees. Y'all balling. Y'all have like one hell of a season. And for instance, why you get that call? And say for example, you're partying, right? So I'm gonna add a weird ass whole scenario. What player would you love to get called out by? Be like, hey JD, I want to play you and your Yankees in the playoffs before I hang it up. That you looked up to, and that's still active, obviously.
wow, that's a tough question. I don't know. That's tough. There's a couple people that I could name.
Name one, my boy. Name one, my boy. The one that you really
All right, if we're
idolize
gonna go
growing up.
pitcher wise, only because he's the best, and Paul Skeens. We gotta go Paul
So you
Skeens
would why say Paul Skeens in particular? Not because he's a fellow pitcher. Like why in particular him and his
because
team?
he's like, I won't lie, he's like one of the best pitchers in modern, at least as of right now. He's one of the best pitchers that we've seen in a like starting pitcher wise. So I would love to face him. If we're saying
And
hitter
you would
though, if we're saying hitter, we're going Mookie Betts though, because I love Mookie.
okay. And what teams did they play for again?
So Paul Skeens is with the Pirates. Mookie Betts is with the
Hmm.
Dodgers.
Okay. So okay, now I'm really gonna break it down. which I love this. Which out of the two would you love to play, especially if they give you that I'm about to retire. I want to play you and your Yankees before I hang it up.
We could do Mookie Betts.
Okay. So play with him and his boys. Okay. So, hey
Yeah.
Mookie, and he'd be like, hey Mookie, I'm gonna take your challenge, my boy. Don't get mad if you end up getting embarrassed before you retire. Let the young bucks come in, right?
Basically.
It's like let the Yankees go come back to their glory. And especially if you was the Mets. Oh my God. You already know you being a fellow East Coaster. That would be a bitch if it was in the Mets. I'd be like, you fucker.
Yeah.
um Out of those two, right? So make it real quick. Do you like being a midfielder or a third baseman? And why?
Ooh. So I'll say this. I love third because I grew up always playing third after the age, I think like 12 or 13. So I loved 13 after 13 or 14. 13. I think I love third. So I'd probably say I love third a lot more, but I do realistically, I think I'm probably a second baseman, but third base is my favorite position.
Why is that? Because not to sound rhetorical, is it because like you just grew up just playing it, like the same scenario like me? Oh, I love playing like football, but I love playing receiver because I've been doing it because I know the plays and all that. Or break it down why you love third, like in terms of technicality, not
Well, it's
because we
just
all grew up at the same alibi.
well, no, I just love when the ball gets hit hard and it looks like it's a ball. Oh, that's past him, and then I catch it, and they're like, "Oh
Uh,
wow, like that's nice." And it's like just stuff like that,
okay,
and it's just one of those positions that, like, for me especially, I don't need to think. I know right away I'm gonna get this ball,
right.
so
Well,
that's why I just
you
love
making
third.
me right, right. So going back to the footballer side, I like corner because, like I said, do you ever watch footballs? Like, are you like a Giants or a Jets fan or
I
Pates?
actually don't watch much. I'll be honest. I'm not really a football guy.
Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, just curious. No worries. So the reason why me personally, out of all the four positions I play, from running back, short slot receiver to corner and all that stuff, to every now and then kick returner, I like corner because corners make the best plays. It's like equivalent for y'all third baseman. You know what I mean? Like we make the best plays when the ball comes at us at center field. Oh, we get the interception. Oh, that makes it fun. It's like talking about for y'all midfielders and third baseman. You know what I mean? If the outfielders ain't doing their shit, bro, we're busting the play for y'all because I'm like, hey, the ball came to us and shit.
Yeah.
So that makes it fun. It brings the intensity in the game. Am I right?
No, it does. It
Exactly.
absolutely does.
What's the hardest play you've ever made? I know you got quite a few, my boy, because I was stressing your ass out, respectfully.
I don't know. I've had some hard plays that I don't even.
Okay.
You know
Do
what?
you want me to
Actually,
really
no.
break it down? Hold on, hold
I
on.
know.
Let me, yeah, break down one game. I'm gonna put it like this. No, this is my choice. Break down one game where the opposing team for y'all at Bergen, they'll be like, oh, these were our really top ops in the division. Like they really give us a run for our money. Let's put it like that.
Well, going back to play really quick because I just got it. This was one play
No,
because
that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
sure.
And as with the play too, that's what I'm getting at. So that's why I just brought in the question.
So one of the times I was playing against this was before I got into college because this is my first year. So
Okay.
one of my boys, and he knows who he is. He broke his. I believe he shattered his wood bat, and it was a play. It was up the
Mm,
middle, but the ball died because there was so much grass that the ball died.
mm,
And I don't know how I made the play. I literally got it. I just grabbed it and I threw it. And it was like this close to him being safe. And I got him out. And he was pretty fast because I was not like when I got it, I said, yo, I just gotta get rid of it. Like, and this was me at short. I got rid of it, he was out. I said, I don't even know how I did that. That was
mhm.
by far probably my best play. I wish I had that on video because that was probably one of my favorite plays at short that I've ever made.
Hey, if your brother's watching, tell him if you got that video. Hey, send him out with my boy. I meant June. I mean,
Oh, he might actually. I should ask. No, he probably deleted it. He definitely deleted it. He said nah. He definitely
well,
deleted
why
it.
do you think? Why do you think he would have deleted though if it was like a good, a saucy ass play like that?
Well, because he didn't get a hit, so he doesn't want a nice play on his phone like that.
Oh, okay. It's all
That's why
good.
he
If
would
you
have
didn't get a hit,
deleted
then it's all good. Okay,
it.
it's understandable. It's all good. um, okay, I think we can answer this. And this is very rhetorical. Your dream stadium is where the Yankees play. That's a given. And what's the name of the Yankee Stadium again?
Yankee Stadium.
Oh, my fault. Because some stadiums are named different. But
No,
yeah, I
no.
was
You're
pretty much
absolutely
actually
right. The Met Stadium is called City Field.
right. So that is so. I did answer your question. So that's rhetorical. That's self-explanatory. So your goal to mainly stay home, unless you got a good deal, is with the Yankees to play at Yankee Stadium. So for your whole
Yeah,
family to see, right?
correct.
There you go. So I already answered that for yourself. What's one word for your mindset? I'm gonna give this to you, my boy, and this is the vibe I'm getting off you, right? I feel like you're very eccentric.
What do you mean
That's
by
that's
that?
my word for you. Because the
What do you
way
mean?
you are, like, and you're very vibeful, you know what I'm saying? You're very eccentric towards the play, you know what you're doing, and you give a positive vibe, but you have that competitive edge. So that's why I said you're eccentric. Would you
Yeah,
agree, or
I agree.
what other word would you give yourself then? Describe you
I
in one
would,
word.
if I had to give myself a word, I'd say I agree with what you said. I agree with that. I would
Yeah,
say determination is a very big one with me. I
and I
I
agree.
hate I hate losing in anything. I hate losing. Like if there's one thing that I hate the most, it's just losing because listen, and this isn't even on like I'm speaking generally in life itself. I hate
That's what I'm about to say,
losing.
my boy. Let's break it down in your whole life in every aspect. Continue.
Yes, I hate losing is the worst feeling and it's like I want to win. Everything I do is win win win. I don't care how I'm going to win, but I'm going to win. That's me. It's win for me. Everything is a win. I don't look at anything as if I don't look at anything and say, "Oh, I might lose." It's if I think I might lose, I better be putting in 10 times more work than I was before cuz I'm not losing.
All right. So I'm gonna add this, my boy. Since we talking about fucking ageism earlier with the fucking transporter and shit. So you can't say that about us old farts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because we wouldn't settle for less. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, we still got it due to our age. We're not trying to take time away from y'all, but we're gonna compete. Who's gonna get more play time? Who's gonna get more exposure? You know what I'm saying? So you want to win too. Now the only ones that would obviously get a bigger edge are like the D1 bounce backs, in other words, fucking transfers, or you play against a player if they didn't use their clock, that's a former retired professional athlete. So imagine, you decide to go pro or you don't decide to go pro respectfully, and you go to a D1 school, say for example, you go to Columbus University, you know what I mean, or Syracuse. You know what I mean? You played somebody that's a veteran, he's like, bruh, I'm competing against you. That winning spirit that you got, and I'm proud of you, my boy. I'm not just saying that like I'm real proud of you. You're gonna compete with them athletes like, bro, I'm competing with somebody, and it's also an honor in a way that's a former retired professional athlete. Now you gotta really be like, I really gotta win now, bro, because this fucker got a bigger edge on me because of his experience, and everybody knows him. And
Yeah.
that's when NIL's gonna start talking too. We're like, who's gonna get the bigger bag? But like, nah, fuck that. I want the bigger bag. Like, nah, young, and I get the bigger bag because I'm better than you. So that's when the will winning spirit goes at it. And
Yeah.
on that note, you know what I'm saying? What do you think? Does this podcast the interviews line up to your expectations? Yes or
No,
no?
I
Depending
actually
on the
really
even though
enjoyed this
even though you
one.
saw that?
I gotta say, I really enjoyed this one. I give credit to you. This was a really good one. I mean, this one, I'll give it. This
Thank
was a
you.
good one. I like this. This is like very new to me. Like new questions. I like this one. This was really good.
Anything else? I won't take it personal, my boy. Like what? And
No,
you feel
this
and we
was
didn't
this
feel
was
like we
all
had an
around
interview.
good. This was all around good. I would say this. Listen, after my season, I would be more than happy to come back on this podcast and speak about my entire season with you. This was a great podcast. I really enjoyed this.
Appreciate you, my boy. What do you really like about it? Okay, now I gotta give you more motherfucking questions. I gotta hold your ass up, so I do apologize if you're hella busy.
Nah, you're good.
So
You're
break it down.
good.
What do you and see, and also me being one of those type of podcasts, I'm hella courteous. You know what I'm saying? So we be courteous of our time. And on top of that, my boy, I mean, you got my info. Like, how do you think we stay tapped in? I hit your ass, I'll be like, hey, what the fuck? Remember? I hit
Yeah,
your
no,
ass up like, we go, what
it
the fuck
was all
happened?
cool and stuff. It was, you know what
Yeah.
I like? You know what I like is this didn't feel like, so when you hit me up, I didn't even take it, I didn't worry about it or whatever, because I was like, yo, I generally like it because this feels real. Like, this feels like I'm talking to one of my boys. Like, this felt cool. I like this. This was dope.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
This
And
was
because I
dope.
care, you know what I'm saying? You thank you. And honestly, I am proud of Youngin, but on a friendly note, don't be an hey, this is my boy. Hey, us 90s babies, we still got it, you feel me? Because but I'm gonna give you some real advice though, is stay on top of your education. Don't knock that. Always have a plan B. I'm not knocking you in the pros. I tell that to everybody. But you just gotta take that longevity,
No,
especially
I
doing it for the
know.
family.
I
That's
got
a
you.
given, you know. On top of that, I forgot to even ask you this. Shit, now I'm bouncing out questions. So just give me another question. What's your major right now? Like, what are you majoring? Oh, don't tell me you're
Uh,
majoring in comms, my boy. I'm gonna be like you. I'm gonna like you the most stereotypical ass player if you're doing comms. I'm not knocking it. You can get good jobs in comms, but what is it?
no, we're in business admin.
Hey, that's good. I'm a poli sci major, but I do like I said, I do project management on the side. That's my real 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, remotely. But yeah, that's good money right there. So what it is? So if you don't make it pro, I'm just being realistic right now. So this is the big brand me kicking in. If you don't make it a pro and you try your best, what do you plan to be in business admin? Do you want to be some type of techie and all that stuff? You want to come
Well,
out to
I
the West
want
Coast,
to.
particularly where I'm at, like in Silicon Valley, because that's where I'm at. With San Jose State. So yeah.
So, what I want to do is with business admin, I would listen. I want to be a business owner in some type of thing. It could be real
So
estate.
entrepreneur.
Yep. I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't, if I did baseball, let's just say I'm a business owner for baseball. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be a manager. I want to be the owner. I want to be able to have people that's working there. Now, of course, I would, of course, like set the training. Like, this is what you need to know. And this is how you could qualify. Or you could get the job, but you have to go through the training. Because, like, again, I would say if I'm going to open it up, I'm getting the best of the best, and we're going to teach what the best are doing. We're not going to teach what works at 10 years old but doesn't work at 13 years old. We're not doing that. We're going to teach
Right.
them the best from what Aaron Judge is doing and what Francisco Lindor is doing and whatever the best center fielder is. Oh, and Mike Trout. Let's just use him. And we're going to teach them,
Yeah.
we're gonna teach them the best. We're not doing this when you're 12 years old. I'll teach you something new. No, because that doesn't even make sense. It logically doesn't
Right.
make sense. So I would get the best of the best to teach them.
Exactly. And being I don't know how to put this, but I'm putting in military terms, right? Me coming from a military family, is you're gonna be a foot soldier. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
also shout out to my to one of my former bosses up at and also a couple of my bosses actually. Shout out to Rob Rosen and Ryan Fox. My first boss for Amazon, and my other boss, especially not to play favoritism, Rob. I love you, my boy. Um, up at for Ryan Fox up at Whole Foods. Because he wasn't those type of managers, you know what I'm saying? They don't just sit back in the office and be like, all right, just do this and that, da, 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 with the woo. I already earned my stripes, right? They still earn it on a daily. Be like, hey, you need help with this? And this describing entrepreneur mindset. Be like, hey, all right, bro, I got you. I'm gonna be on the groundworks with you. I'm not just gonna sit back and watch. You know what I mean? Until you get the groove on. Other than that, we're gonna work on it till it happens. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
the vibe you get off of me. And honestly, me being actually a former hiring manager as well, that's a good kind of see. I'll be like, and I try to play favoritism to all my past guests. I love y'all and also family. But you give me that good vibe, be like, hey, you the type I would have as my assistant. You know what I mean? Because we will work hand in hand, be like, hey, bro, we got this going, but we're working on the groundwork as well. We're not just fucking playing da 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 da. We're not just puppeteering, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
honestly, I'm real proud of you. You know what I'm saying? At least you have that mindset. Being realistically in a divisional sense of an NIA athlete. Because you already know what NIA and D3s, they're all about academics. When you go to certain D2s and D1s, you already know the rest. NIL, everybody's living bougie. Be like, you see a bunch of struggling students, you see them players living in a penthouse. I'm like, bro, what is you doing? You know what I mean? But I also get it in a percentile sense because it's only a 1 to 5% chance. I'm speaking in general, so correct me if I'm wrong for y'all baseballers, to make it in the pros. Am I speaking facts or am I talking on my ass, respectfully?
No, it's definitely hard because we have a lot of things that go our way. Like take overseas, they're getting signed at 15, 16 years old. Then you have the college players that have to wait until some of them 21, some of them 18. And then on top of that, you have how many? You have a whole bunch of minor league systems. So it is very hard.
Right. And on top of
Very
that,
hard.
that's why we cannot knock in it, but they also got to be humble through it all because those players, and I'm speaking those in P4, P5, you see all of them using the fuck out of their NIL, be like, bro, what the fuck? You got a Lambo, you living there by the pro stadium. But they got in a way they got a right to be bougie, but be humble. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
they know for a fact they're not gonna make it in the pros. You know what I mean? Like imagine if okay, I know you want to go pro, but if you had to go D1, like say for example, like I said, you go to Columbus and then you meet some of your brothers that are like solid third base and midfield, speaking on your position, right? They're living in a bougie ass part of fucking the Big Apple, and you're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you're going pro? Like, nah, I'm gonna utilize this because I'm being realistic. Even if the minors don't get me, at least I'm utilizing it both as a student athlete and as a student because I'm thinking longevity in terms of like how I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you have that initial drive like yourself, then go for it. You know what I mean? But the thing what I always preach to all my players in their life, just don't be a classicist, be humble through it all, and just have the love for the game, not just the love for the moolah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, my boy, I leave it at that. Another thing is too is you have any shout outs
No, I
before
got
we
no
close it
shout
off?
outs. You know what? Let's shout out Mase Sports for if anyone from my fan base or anything. Make sure y'all all check him out. This was a great interview. I enjoyed every minute of it. This was great. I,
Yeah, it
I
was good. You
got
enjoyed
you.
every second.
And you know what? You know what? Everyone on I don't know if you're familiar with it. But on my Instagram and on my TikTok, a whole bunch of people say I'm very mean to my best friend. I'm not that mean. They're just clipped out. I just wanna say I'm shouting out my best friend Nathan. I got you. Me and him, we
Shout out
roll.
Nate.
That's my guy there, and you know he's always in here through my bigs and my ups, my downs. He's great. Anyone who's watching on my part, um, take it easy. Like I trust me, me and Nathan, we're all good. We're good. You're just seeing very out of clips that are on TikTok and Instagram. We're still good. Everything. So shout out to Nathan because he's ups and downs, and if it wasn't for him, like he's a great best friend. So I want to just
Yeah.
shout him out. And of course, we got to shout out the host, May Sports, one more time because he was great
And
and he treated me great. And this was a great podcast episode. So I loved
and
every
uh,
second
and
of it.
I appreciate you, mama. And on top of that, yo, yeah, the fam and all that stuff because they'll appreciate it too. It's like, hey, at least you want to stay home, but at least you at least when the bag's there, not just be a capitalist, you know, you know your worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What you
and
got to
shout
show, my
out to
boy?
them
What's up?
too.
What's
Shout
up?
out to I got to shout out my family too. My mom, my dad, my sister, all of them. They're all great too. Love
Right.
all of them. So I got to shout them out too.
Right. And those that ain't family, but that are family, you know the vibes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of
But
course.
to leave it out
Oh,
like this, my
them too.
boy, is exactly on this, and I always leave it out for all my fans. And I know you heard this in a couple of my interviews. You know what I'm finna say, right? Unless you want to recite it with me. Live a
I'm not too
life
sure.
of live a life of progression and legacy rather than regression and regret. Because that's what matters the most. You know what I'm saying? We only got one life to live, but let's utilize it to the fullest. Because that's what people
Absolutely.
remember us by.
Absolutely.
So God bless it to you and yours. Hopefully you make
God
it.
bless
But if
you.
not, respectfully, even though that is far fetched, because you know where your drive's at, respectfully, at least you're being realistic, my boy. Proud of you. Blessings to you and yours. And we'll be in touch, all right? Be
Hell
safe.
yeah. Be safe, yo.